Hi, How To Chris here. Thanks for joining me today. And there's a variety of ways of making it, and the way I do it, it's extremely easy and useful. So let's get started. First thing we got to do is get attached in. I'm going to be showing how I do it from this my vise on my workbench, from this vise over to this clamp, and we're going to wind up with a rope across. We want to get this extremely tight, so what we do first, we tie in. I'll just use a slip knot here, and I'll show how to make this after. Just get in here. So I'm going to show how to make whatever knots I do here today. I'll show. So I'll be doing the slip knot here, and I'll put a couple of half hitches on here. And I'm going to be doing an alpine butterfly knot too. For the we have to make a loop in this rope. So let's get this set up. So what we have to think about is when we go from point A to B, we want to, if this is a tree, I have to decide which way I want to wrap it. Do I want to wrap it this way or this way? So to make it easier, you could do it either way. To make it easy, I would want to wrap around this way so I can pull comfortably. So do that same thing here. Just pull, and now when I pull, I'm pulling and I'm comfortable. Next thing I have to think about is where I want to make a loop in this rope, because I have to make a loop so I can get a pulley system happening here, and I'll get a mechanical advantage. So I want the loop. I have to decide, do I want it in the middle, this end, or this end? So when I go through that loop, this where I'll be pulling is going to be the opposite direction now. So if I put the loop down here, when I go through the loop, I would have to stand over there, and I want to show how I could do it right from where I'm sitting. And you might not have access, like in this case I don't have access over there. So I would want to put the loop right here. So when I come through, and I would be pulling back here comfortably. So I'm going to put a loop. I'll do the alpine butterfly knot. I have a video on that as well. But what we do is I'll put 3 wraps around my palm here. So we got 1, 2, 3 wraps, and then I'll take the middle wrap here, and I'll go underneath, grab it, pull it out, go over the top, and go push it all the way out under my palm here and grab it. So basically, I'll show a close-up on that. I also have another video how I do this. And again, this is called the alpine butterfly knot. Okay, so what we have is, after I get it dressed a little bit, I'm going to start to inspect it. We've got 2 wings on one side here. We've got the main loop and an X on the back. So I'll zoom in on this, but let's move on to the next part of this. And the next part would be to take the end of the rope and go through that loop. It's as simple as that. Then pull, and as I'm pulling, you'll see that this gets extremely tight. But what I'm going to do is, if it was a tree or something a little bit bigger, see, this has to bend around a tight kind of just my clamp here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little help by pulling. You might have to do that if the tree that you're working with is rough. So same situation would apply. Just pull a little bit. I can really crank down on this. I don't want to knock over my bench. But again, I'm just going to pull. And now you can see how it's getting tighter. So it's just like that. And then what you're going to do, after you're happy with what you got, you're going to, let's just get a little bit better. after you're happy with what you have, okay, so after you're happy with what you have, where this rope comes through this loop here, you're just going to pinch the rope just to keep it from going anywhere, and then you can tie this off. So in this case, I'll tie it off with a couple of half hitches. If I wanted to untie it really fast, I could do a slipped half hitch, but that wouldn't be too secure, so I recommend at least never do only one half hitch because it'll slip. Always do 2 minimum. You know, you can do as many as you want. There's nothing wrong with having multiple half hitches. They're easy to undo. So I'll make a loop, and then in the standing part of the rope, I'll flip this loop on top of the standing part, just like this, and I'll push through another loop. Grab that loop, and the tail and standing part, I'll just hold that and kind of pull my loop, work my loop through, and just snug it up as I'm doing that. So that's it. So now we have our slip knot here. So this is adjustable, but in this case we're just going to be hooking it around here, pulling in and getting it cinched in here, and then from this point I can secure it a little bit more with a couple half hitches if I want. So that would be one. I just go around the standing part, back through the loop, just as if I'm doing an overhand knot, but this is called, those are 2 half hitches on there. From here,